Welcome to The Explainer. Today, with a big thank you to the experts at ProTax Accountant for helping us put this together, we're going to tackle a phrase on UK tax returns that honestly trips up a lot of people. Not yet used. So picture this. You're looking at your tax return, and bam, you see the phrase, not yet used. And your heart just sinks a little, right? You're probably thinking, oh no, what did I do wrong? Well, take a deep breath. It's actually a super common thing to see, and we're going to walk you through exactly what it means. Okay, the good news? It's nowhere near as scary as it sounds. Not yet used is basically just the placeholder. Think of it like a sticky note from HMRC saying, hey, we know you have this tax allowance, but we haven't officially applied it to your income for this year yet. Usually, it's just because they're waiting for you to file your return or for some other piece of information to land. All right, so here's what we've got on the agenda. We'll get to the bottom of this not yet used mystery, see what it means for you if you're an employee versus self-employed, cover a few common tax traps to watch out for, and then wrap up with a solid action plan. Let's get into it. Right, first things first. Why does this strange little phrase even appear on your tax documents? Let's dig in. You know that chunk of money you're allowed to earn every year completely tax-free? That's your personal allowance. For the 2025/26 tax year, that's a cool £12,570. A huge reason you see not yet used is simply because this allowance hasn't been officially set against your income yet. And that's a big deal because if it's not applied, you could be paying way more tax than you need to. So, think of this phrase as a signal, not a screaming red alarm. It could be something simple, like you've just changed jobs, or maybe HMRC has incomplete data. It could also mean your tax code is a bit off, and for all you self-employed folks out there, it usually just means you haven't filed your return yet. Whatever the reason, it's a little nudge to just double-check that everything's in order. Okay, let's break this down for employees first. If you're on a company payroll, paid through PAYE, the absolute first place you need to look for clues is your tax code. Now, it might just look like a jumble of letters and numbers, but your tax code is incredibly powerful. For most people, you want to see 1257L. That means you're getting your full personal allowance. But if you see something like BR or, even worse, 0T, that's a problem. It means your tax-free allowance isn't being used for that job, and you're getting taxed on every single pound you earn. If that's your only job, you are definitely overpaying. And the best part is, you don't need to be an accountant to check this. It's really straightforward. First, just grab your latest payslip or your P60. The code is right there. For the most up-to-date info, log into your personal tax account on the gov.uk website. You can also just ask your payroll department, or if all else fails, give HMRC a call. And look, here's why this really matters. Getting your tax code wrong can be seriously expensive. We're talking an average overpayment of around £700 a year for people on the wrong code. That's a lot of money. It's your cash that should be in your pocket, not sitting with HMRC. All right, so that's employees covered, but what if you're self-employed? Well, for you, the story is a little different. Honestly, if you're self-employed, seeing not yet used is pretty much business as usual for most of the tax year. It's nothing to worry about, unlike employees who have tax taken automatically. HMRC is basically just sitting back and waiting for you. They need you to file your self-assessment tax return so you can tell them what you've earned and claim your allowances. And this is exactly how it works. When you file, you'll put in your total income, say £40,000. Then you'll deduct all your legitimate business expenses. What's left is your taxable profit. That's when HMRC applies your £12,570 personal allowance. The not yet used tag vanishes and you only pay tax on what's left over. Simple as that. Okay. Let's move on to a couple of common tax traps that can catch anyone out, whether you're employed or self-employed. Emergency tax is a big one, especially if you've just started a new job. If your new boss doesn't have your P45 from your old job, they don't know what tax code to use. So the system puts you on an emergency code, which often means you get taxed on everything, leaving your personal allowance, you guessed it, not yet used. It almost always gets sorted out and you get a refund, but for a few months, your paychecks can be a lot smaller than they should be. Here's another one to watch out for, the high-income child benefit charge. Basically, if you or your partner earn over a certain threshold, currently £50,000, and you're getting child benefit, you have to pay some of it back through your tax return. You might see not yet used in this context if HMRC's system knows you get the benefit but hasn't yet processed your income for the year to figure out the charge. So, what do we do with all this information? How do we go from that feeling of confusion to feeling confident about our taxes? Well, here is your action plan. It really boils down to this simple 5-point checklist. 1. Check your tax code regularly. 2. Make sure you report all your income. 3. Claim every single deduction you're entitled to. 4. File your self-assessment on time every time. And 5. At the end of the tax year, check your P60 to make sure it all adds up. Nailing these fundamentals means you're not paying a penny more in tax than you have to. And we heard from Adil Akhtar, the CEO of ProTax Account, and he summed it up perfectly. He said that in his 15 years of experience, he's seen this phrase trip up countless taxpayers. But at the end of the day, it's almost always simpler to fix than it looks. So here's the final thought I want to leave you with. Everyone's tax situation is a little bit different. If you've checked everything we've talked about and something still doesn't feel right, please don't just ignore it. Knowing your taxes is a skill, and honestly, sometimes the smartest and most cost-effective thing you can do is just ask an expert for help. So, to answer our original question, should you panic when you see not yet used? No, absolutely not. But should you look into it? Yes, for sure. And if you get stuck or just want a professional pair of eyes on it, the team at ProTax Accountant, who help make this explainer possible, are there to give you clear, actionable advice for your specific situation.